So I'm here with Joe Fortina of Electric Bella, who has done an incredible job putting together the Forever Autumn event. We are in awe of the number of bands you've been able to pull together and the quality of this event and how smoothly it's going. So can you just kind of take us through a little tour of the history of this and how we got here?
Well, I mean, it's a tragic story, man. I don't even know where to start. I mean, Autumn was like one of our family, you know. Greg and Jen, of course, we're close with, and she was just always at our house. Our kids play together. I mean, you do this for anybody, really, but when it's someone you know, it's really, and it was like something's got to be done, and I want to be done right. I want it to be classy, and what's the best I can do.
Now tell us about the outpouring, because when I saw it, we were a bit stunned when we saw the amount of items that were donated to this event. And can you share some of the ones that maybe surprised you a little?
We called in favors, we begged, emailed. I found ways of finding contacts for people and national bands, things. Next thing you know, I come home from one day just from a simple email, and 3 days later I got a box. I open it and it's autograph sticks from Tommy Lee, a book. I get a phone call from Tony Hawk's assistant. We're going to send you a signed, skateboard deck. The Phillies, a bat shows up in my door, and so on. Some people we know, some people I know people who know people. I reached out to everybody and asked everybody they know, reach out, let's get some quality things. And people are going to want to come and get those things and have a good time, So it's just beg, ask favors, and hope for the best, And a lot of stuff was just community people too, and just put things together. Whether they bought things, a lot of businesses just gave us things. It was very, very hard to keep track of. Every single time somebody says we're giving you this, I just almost went in tears. It's like, thank you,
Yeah. An event like this, is there any challenges that were the hardest thing in putting it together? What was the hardest part?
The hardest part is saying no to people that wanted to be part of it. And it's not Woodstock, it's not 4 days long, and we're friends with a lot of people, and we couldn't let everybody do it. That's the hardest part. Was that the hardest part was thinking about why you're doing it, and just the planning, and just looking at their faces, and talk about it.
Is there anything, at such a horrible situation like this, has there been any great possible thing good that could come that would be a positive that's happened as a result? Obviously the event was tragic. What do you think any good legacy might be, or something positive down the road, if that's possible?
Well, I mean, everybody that has kids wants to keep them safe and does what they can, but something like this make you realize just how easy it is for something bad to happen. I have kids, and if it was mine, I'd be like just I don't know what I would do. So it's just not those little things don't matter when something like this happens. It makes you realize you got to think about the big stuff, and you gotta, even me with kids, you get mad at them for simple things, and some things I'm kind of just like, I'm not gonna be so mad at right now, But at the same time, you still gotta be the disciplined one, But you want to keep them more safe and aware, and you want to try to communicate with them that if we're hard on you, there's a reason, and things like this can happen. And we want to, stay in better communication and kind of know where they're at, know what they're doing. I don't really want to see anybody else go through this.
Now, folks, that the money that's raised tonight, where will be the end result, and how will that benefit, and where will that go?
It's my thoughts were pretty much, let's get everything together, do what we can, build it up. There's a fund in place for money to go to, and I haven't even stopped to think of, there's no oh, there's going to be a statue, or it's going to be, it's the family will whatever they need with it. It's I mean, they have, I know they have lots of goals to accomplish with it, and things to do to even help other people and organizations. You know, it's just, in this scenario, the same thing. You know, they just want to, they want to be there for people that may, you know, it might happen to them in any sort of tragic way, and to just. Sometimes it's easy to talk to people that are going through it. You know,
let's get to the topic of music for just a minute. What's going on with the Boa now? What's new and exciting? What's 2013 hold for the electric Boa?
Well, you know, the Boa's going through changes here and there, and every time we seem to get something together, something happens, changes, and next thing you know, it's like we got and this thing happened. The lineup now, it's pretty solid. With this behind us, and it's never behind us, but sure, with this out of the way, it's we're gonna, you know, we're ready to write a new record, and you know, just start, you know, from almost like ground up again. I mean, obviously we're not ground. We're doing pretty well. We hope people will stick with us, because we're going to start to dive in, and hopefully we give somebody some new tunes, like you know.
When I listen to you guys, there's some songs, sometimes you remind me of like some classic Stones, sometimes you remind me of punk, sometimes you remind me bordering on heavy metal. Do each of you, is there one of you that has each of that style? In other words, does Higgsy have one style and you have another, and that's why I hear different songs, or do you all like them different?
Higgsy got like 17 styles, you know, and it's, you know, and there's some things that I'm not good at, some things I'm real good at, and there's some things that somebody else is good at, and then sometimes, you know, me and Trip gel well, so sometimes I'll sit back and let him do Higgsy will come in with some things, and everybody's kind of like, what's that, you know? So we're going to go back to it. Well, you'll get it. We'll just try to do this. It's something that, I mean, a lot of bands just, some bands just put a couple things together, and you know, it's like you've heard it before, but doesn't mean it's bad. It's still good, you know? Yeah. We definitely strive to do outside the realm of everything else that's happening. You know, and I mean, I was a fan of this band before I was in it. The CD is still in my car player, still, since before I was in the band, and I'm in the car, I pop it in and I listen, you know.
It truly is an infectious CD. I know I'm kind of addicted to it myself and listen to it all the time. We talked a little bit about your frontman, Higgsy. If you haven't seen this band before, he is definitely an entertaining guy. What's the craziest thing that you can tell us about you've ever seen that dude do on stage?
Well, I mean, he likes to just attempt to break bones by jumping and just boom, you know? Two weeks ago, I think it was 3 weeks ago, he decided that I'm going to jump out into the crowd, and sometimes there's people there to catch you. He pretty much like made sure everybody was out of the way.
It's the wrong way to go about it.
Jumped forward, and I saw his like legs down and fall, and there's a photo of him almost landing, and everybody's face was just like in awe, like, you know, what's going to happen. And, you just knew, like, that's had to hurt. You know,
But he hurt for a couple days after that.
He
Didn't
will hurt himself over and over again to entertain. You know, he's a showman, and he will give it his all. If there's 3 people there, if there's 1,000 people there, you're going to get the same exact show.
And I think the rest of the band deserves credit for that too. Just the energy when the boa comes out. Something. First time I saw this band, I was immediately hooked. To be honest, I was hooked, as you mentioned, the first time I heard the CD. We often will listen to the CD before we go see a band. We've never seen them before. I was immediately a fan of this band. So we love you guys and love everything you're doing. How far away did you hear from people regarding the tragic events?
I had a friend that was in Vegas that called me and heard about it, and then he was like, "Is that the girl that always at your birthday party, like my kids, parties?" And I was, "Yeah, it's her." People that Texas heard from. I mean, I know it's national, it's good, but the person that was in Vegas heard it from a relative in Canada, and they were just talking about it, and then because it was from the area, and when I had talked to him, he had no idea, like, at first, and then I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe this, person." And, as soon as I saw, like, a picture on Facebook of him, I looked at it and I said, "What's going on?" I've seen people do that before, and it's been like they're proud of their kid did this or that, and I'm wondering, like, why is some other person, and they're known about it. I just basically looked at my wife and I said, we need to go help. And when I showed up at that town and realized, like, we weren't the only ones. I mean, there was like 2,000 people. Just forget work. We were everywhere. We were going through the woods. And, it's just you got to do what you got to do. For your friends and communities. And I just can't believe how how many people this has affected. Which, I mean. Even with the tragic from last week with those in Connecticut, that's 20 times this. So I feel like going and doing a benefit up there. I wish I could, but
thinking out loud. Well, we make a mission here at Mid-Atlantic Rock Reviews of our motto, as a lot of folks know, is changing the world through rock and roll. And Joe, I just want to hand it to you. This has been a class event, which is one of your goals. You've met that goal. You pulled off a class event. You pulled together some great talent, bands we've never seen before that we're really enjoying today. And I think
got some really good ones coming out too.
Yeah, the night's still young. You may even hear some folks rehearsing it off in the distance here. We heard earlier interviewing some folks. We heard some Doro being sung next door, and just lots of great people here. So we just, on behalf of everybody that's here and all the rockers that are here and folks that love the Bella and all these bands here, we just want to thank you for organizing this event on behalf of everybody.